Heyo everybody, Haku here with this week's HaQ&A video, and I've been recording for like the past hour because some stuff came out today that I wasn't expecting. Early One Piece, plus I had forgot that The Walking Dead comes out today, the next comic issue. So I have read and done my live reactions and stuff to all that, plus filmed my monthly channel update, so I am a bit exhausted actually, but I'm going to push through and record this. We have a lot of comments I want to discuss, so this is probably going to be another super long HaQ&A, but we have stuff from like just about every series on the channel. We have had a week, let me tell you guys. So last week in the HaQ&A, I was really happy and thanked you guys so much and was so surprised because I had grown from 240 to 250 subs in just a single week. And now from last HaQ&A to this HaQ&A, we are at 279, so pretty much 280. We have gained like 30 subs in a week. And it's been one of the best weeks of my life because of it, and getting to talk with all of you so much. We have had a ton of comments, like I said, just getting to like be not physically with you guys, but just like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I try to get invested in talking back to each of you who comment and everything, and really discussing what you want to talk about here in the HaQ&As, and I try to like really build a connection with all of you. So yeah, it's just such a crazy feeling, and I love that the hard work I feel like we've all put in is paying off, and we're having some pretty good growth. I've said this week I'm going a little bit lighter on the uploads, but next week I have a lot of important videos planned. I guess not really, important's not really the word, maybe special, a bunch of special videos planned next week. But we have a lot to discuss for these comments. So let's go ahead and get into them. I just wanted to let you guys know that I was really appreciative of you, and I love you guys. So let's get into these actual comments. First up this week, we are going to discuss I'll know it at 2014 said, I wonder who bombs other allies in FUG other than Hajin-sung and Warian are. Who do you think they are? I think that Bomb probably has a lot of small followers that we probably aren't going to meet. They're probably not that important. But other than Hajin-sung and Warian, I'd argue that Yuhan-sung is definitely Bomb's ally. Yuhan-sung has been really harsh to Bomb, but also has taught Bomb the Yuhan-sung style Shinsu long-range fighting. Also, I think that even though he's harsh on him, he'll always side with Bomb because he sees Bomb as an irregular, he sees his strength, and he wants to use Bomb's strength to take down Zahard and help FUG. So overall, even though he's been harsh to Bomb, as I said, Yuhan-sung, I would argue, is certainly his ally. Also, I still personally feel like it's going to turn out that Grace Merche Luzlek will be on Bomb's side and will really personally like Bomb since he gave him the Grace name. Yeah, I really think Grace Merche Luzlek is going to be more of a good guy and more on Bomb's side. Anime Lover 22 Full says, Ruler's weakness is why Calamity Mary is able to abuse her without Ruler having to save herself using the scepter, because Mary keeps the scepter away from her. And that's a really good catch. I didn't even notice that in that scene, but yep, totally right, really good catch. Venersis said he just took 1 or 6 or 7 for the team. And yeah, and I responded back with another great quote, gonna be cold as a warlock's ballsack. Negan in The Walking Dead comics, I love all of his quotes. He is like one of the funniest character when it comes just to speaking, and from what we've seen of him in the show, it seems like they may be doing pretty well with that, so I'm excited to see what he says in the future. Like, some of the quotes from the comics that I would love to see be remixed into the show is Negan's when he was like, two of the ones, my two favorite ones possibly, or one when he brings Carl Zarek, and he's like, and I brought him back safe and sound like a post-apocalyptic Santa Claus, ho fucking ho. I love that one, and my second one was when he's giving a speech to the Saviors, and he's just like, we are the big swinging dick of this world. But it seems, and it's been that way for a long fucking time, but it seems that some people have forgotten that. So, we're gonna swing harder and faster until we fly off like a motherfucking helicopter. You with me? That speech is like one of my favorite lines in anything. So, I kind of hope that gets remixed into the show. Ja Wangnan said, I think Yuri Zahard will be killed by Karaka on the floor of death. This would be amazing build-up for Bomb vs. Karaka. I can't wait to see how my boy Wangnan and Karaka are connected. I didn't notice that you said floor of death, but I don't think Yuri's going to die quite yet. I think that Jinsung may actually be killed, though. But I think that Yuri has to stick around in the plot for right now because of the future princess arc. And I think I may have made on your other point, I think I may have made a video once about discussing the possibility of Wangnan and Karaka being siblings. So I can't wait either. And personally, I also feel like Karaka might be a woman and is maybe a former princess who flipped sides to FUG. And that's why she, if she is a woman, has the Zahard ring. So, yeah, just my random thoughts and theories on Karaka. Sorry, gonna grab some water right quick. Concerning last week's One Piece chapter, since this week's already came out early, Marak InfoTube said, I cried like a baby. It was so intense and emotional. And me personally, I teared up a little while watching other people's live reactions to it, but in my own live reaction, it didn't really hit me that hard. I think the only time that I've been recording a live reaction and actually been hit emotionally is when I was doing Tower of God chapter 273. Like, I almost cried during it, but I was like holding myself back. I was like, you cannot cry on camera in front of these people like this. So yeah, that's the only time I was really hit emotionally doing a live reaction video, Tower of God chapter 273. And Mark said, yeah, Haku, it's hard for me not to cry. What a baby I am. And no, I'm kind of, I'd say it doesn't make you a baby. I think you should get invested in shows, and it's so enjoyable to really care that much. So yeah, I like that. Also, for me personally, I'm kind of an emotional butterfly when it comes to shows. Like, I do get invested and tear up every now and again. But it just made me think today. Because another thing, I'm going to have a bunch of anime reviews coming up soon of different anime, because I'm watching a bunch of different anime. Like, I used to watch YouTube videos whenever I would, like, eat lunch or dinner or whatever, but now I'm watching anime instead so that I can get through some and do reviews of them and stuff, and I've busted through Roku no Yusha and Haito Genso no Grimgar, and next I'm going to do ReZero. I'm doing Grimgar right now. I watched Grimgar episode 8 earlier today, and I didn't just tear up, I legitimately cried. And the only other time, there are only 2 other times I can remember a show, any show, making me legitimately cry. Like, there have been a few things, quite a few, that have made me tear up. And even this Walking Dead premiere we just had, like, my hand was shaking a little, and like the adrenaline was pumping. I never even teared up. It wasn't really sad to me as much as it was like intense. I was just like, my hand was shaking a little, adrenaline was pumping. But no, I literally cried for episode 8 of Grimgar, and the only other 2 times I can think of when I've done that was Mary's funeral in One Piece, and which is iconic One Piece scene from long ago, and the finale, the last episode, the very end, probably the last 10 minutes of Code Geass. Those are the only other 2 times I can remember more than just tearing up, legitimately crying for a show. Craig Emberson said a lowland Persian is meant to look dopey because this time it's actually based on a Persian cat with a fat round face and the round bits above its mouth. And yeah, I see it, but I still think it's a super lame design. That is the only design in Pokemon Sun and Moon that I do not like. Anime Watcher said, I was going to get Pokemon Sun for Christmas, but the trailer maybe changed my mind into getting it on release day. Me personally, okay, Train. Me personally, I'll likely wait around and get it near Christmas or I'm not sure though. But the thing with me is, for games, like, I don't know, I don't spend that much money. I don't have that much money to spend. But there are usually really good deals around Christmas, so I usually hold off for all the games I want to buy for a year. I hold off, I don't get any of them, and then around Christmas I just get all of them. I just buy all of them. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do with Pokemon Sun and Moon as well. So Anime Watcher said, I'm currently training myself to be an anime reviewer or analyzer. For now, I can't place any logical reason why I love Tower of God so much. It just clicks with me. I hope sometime in the future you can review another manga alongside the currently weekly one, such as Boku no Hero Academia sometime in the future. So how would you describe Tower of God if you were hoping to get somebody into the series? Well, right now, I said I've got Tower of God, One Piece, The Walking Dead TV show, and a few anime going week to week. And I've got The Walking Dead comics and Manmusu monthly, and then 12 Beasts bi-monthly. And then once we catch up with Boku no Hero Academia with the read-through, we're going to be doing that week to week as well. And for your other thing, if I were to describe Tower of God trying to get somebody to into the series, and I call myself all the time, I'm like the Jehovah's Witness of Tower of God, because I'm always like pestering people like, yo, you need to read this, you need to get into this. So pretty much I would just be kind of vague in general with it, be like, just it's a shonen action adventure where a boy finds himself in a tower and every floor has a test that you have to pass before moving up. But it's a lot deeper than that. There's like cool shonen powers and all that. But either way, that's just the basic way I would describe it. That way they can go and find out all the other stuff for themselves, because it's way more complex than that. But I say, yeah, let them find out more for themselves. I wouldn't want to ruin anything. Cycle 113 said, wow, you gained like 20 subscribers within a day or two. Nice job, and thank you so much, and thank you to all of you so much. I owe all of this to you guys. And yeah, I think it was last Thursday and Friday I made 16 subscribers in 2 days. Like, I don't even know what to attribute that to, but I was about the happiest I've been in my life. Yoshi Plays MC says, the reason people overhype Cynthia on like my old top 10 Pokemon Champions video, said the reason people overhype Cynthia is because of how hard she was to beat back in Diamond and Pearl. So many people struggled to beat her as kids, and even now her team isn't the easiest to deal with. Her team's extremely well balanced in dealing with all kinds of types, and her Garchomp is still a nightmare for any Pokemon, including some legends. It even got to the point where Game Freak had to nerf Cynthia in Platinum because of how difficult she was in Diamond and Pearl. And yeah, I do remember that, but still to me, she's one of the more memorable, but not nearly the best and most memorable for me. But like I said in the list is my personal opinion. I mean, it's my personal opinion on how much I like the character, not how good I think they are objectively in gameplay, because I don't really think there's a proper way you can really argue that. Merock InfoTube said, happy 250 or happy 260 subs, keep growing and making awesome videos. Again, thank you so much, and thank all of you so much. I will certainly keep trying my best. Anime Watcher said, I'm going to play the Sun and Moon demo and see what Pokemon I'd like to journey with when the full game comes out. And I said, go for it. I already have a few that I know I want, like Lurantis, Lycanroc, Primarina, or Primarina, some people are pronouncing it, and Salandit's Evolution. So they're ones that I know that I want to use because they are just awesome. And then they said they played the demo and it's merely scratching the surface, so they want to do some research and look back at the reveal trailers to figure out which one's suited to them. Yurazuya White Bear Beppo said, just wanted to let you know about Boku no Hero Academia. Always read the Fallen Angel scans. Don't read the manga stream scans unless you're all caught up. And I said, thanks a ton. Other people have told me the same things about a few weeks ago, so I've been using the Fallen Angel scans on manga here. But let me get some agua again. Throat's killing me. Anime Watcher once again said about Boku no Hero Academia, you've nearly finished all the chapters where the first season was adapted. That's good pacing. Now, if you think the art's good now, there's no words I can say otherwise to describe the art nowadays. And I had not even thought of that yet. I hadn't thought that, like, what I'm reading now for Boku no Hero Academia is just the beginning, so I can't imagine in the years since it's been started, like, I can't imagine how much it's improved since what I'm currently reading. Andrea Zapita said, I love to know about Mahou Shoujo Weeksei Keikaku. I love to know about the characters and their normal lives. I also that all of them have different ages, not only teens but also adults participate, and even kids. Top Speed is still best girl right now, and we will hopefully have more story on the characters, since in the novel they don't give that much about their backstories, at least less than in the anime. Right now I think Winter Prison may be best girl for me. best girl right now for me, because I kind of have a thing for that short hair and that sort of style. I don't know, I have a thing for a lot of things. So, I mean, you know. Noir said about the Noir 309 or 891 said about the same series, I hope they can show the full glory hardcore Alice's entrance and make it as stunning as in the novel. And I said I hope so too, because I haven't read the novels, but with a name as metal as Hardcore Alice, I'm expecting some crazy stuff to go down. Oh my gosh. Andrea Zapita said another thing about Top Speed, there are many things she can infer with what she said, and what she said, of course, was she doesn't want to die for another 6 months. Andrea Zapita said she could be waiting for the return of somebody she loves that she hasn't seen in a long time and wants to say her goodbyes. She could have a terminal illness and be dying soon, or she could be pregnant like what I guessed, and she wants to live until she gives birth, and it'd get us out of the cliche of characters dying as virgins. Or 4, it could be something completely different. And I say completely right on all those. All those are total possibilities. I'm still sticking with my guess as being pregnant, though, because that's just the first thing that came in my head when she said she didn't want to die. Venersa said, speculation. Karaka is teamed up with Masheni-kun and Maria-kun, and that's how Masheni knew that Yuri was on the Hell Train. Also, it's kind of weird that Karaka shows up the same chapter that Masheni makes the bet. This will give Kun Agro-Agnes a legitimate reason to go after his half-sister Maria, since she's now teamed with Karaka. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that Karaka would win against Yuri, because if a Slayer can't beat a princess, how's he going to beat Zahard? But that being said, Baum and his team is around to help if things go bad for Yuri. Sorry if I misspelled any names. Nah, I think you got all of them right. Also, side note, remember when Baum was thinking that he liked being or acting like a god? I think that's foreshadowing Baum's going to become a legitimate Slayer in the future and wanting to take a Zahard type of role. And yeah, I say you could be totally right. I think for this, I think Baum's going to go confront Karaka, and we're finally going to, I spelled that wrong in the actual comment, we're finally going to get to see those two meet face to face. So I think we're going to see them meet face to face. Baum will probably get into a little bit of trouble, and I think Jinsung's going to come in to stop it, because it seems like Jinsung and Karaka have that type of master-student relationship. And also, Jinsung might even die. I have no clue. And also, I totally agree with the 50-50 shot thing, because I think that Karaka and Yuri, in my opinion, are roughly equal in power. Both of them are young, both of them are powerful, both of them are important, and it's also good to note that while other people have their rank, or they're being taken over in rank, Yuri and Karaka are steadily growing in rank. So I think that they are probably likely both roughly around the same sort of ability level. Ja Wangnan said about this week's Tower of God chapter, fantastic chapter. I totally agree. Future Guy 2014 said the same thing, and also said, I'm just hoping that Yuri doesn't die anytime soon, and by that I mean never. Also, I'm holding out hope that Elaine will join Baum's group. Maybe the huge fight going on at the train will grab her attention, and she'll end up getting caught up in all that stuff, and still joining Baum. But if not, I really hate the off-screen goodbye, and same, because I just hope Elaine comes back, not just because she's one of my favorite characters right now, but because I hate the idea of an off-screen goodbye like that. It's like two things that I complained a lot about. It's like the off-screen Baum versus Elliot and the off-screen Rack versus Inietta all over again. It's like you throw in important stuff off-screen. Here is an interesting thing to discuss. Iron Felty said, I feel like the way the story is going, Yuri's most likely going to die if Karaka, or most likely gonna die. If Karaka came to lose, it'd be really bad for the story, and on top of that, to avenge his comrades and talking like the way he did, there's no way. Karaka has to fight Baum, and for Karaka to kill Yuri, it would set things up nicely. Just like the end of Season 1 being important, the end of Season 2 will most likely be as well, and can end with Yuri dying, and then we'll start Season 3 with some revenge vibes, or Baum's thirst for power to stop people like Karaka, like when Baum said he wished he was a god for a moment. I don't know though, good vid as always, thank you so much. Then Kulfu270 said, I doubt Yuri would die in this fight, because Yuri's tied with the princess's conspiracies and Masheni's bet. Baum has to know about the bet to get a full picture. A vindictive and power-hungry vibe doesn't really fit Bomb's personality. Bomb's already tied with Karaka. He doesn't need another reason to go for him. My speculation is the fight's going to be stopped. Bomb will get involved in the fight. Maybe Jinsung will intervene and side with Bomb, because letting Karaka know how fast Bomb can learn is important. Ha-Jinsung wouldn't stop Karaka and protect a princess, so Bomb has to be involved. It's very unlikely, but hopefully we can see Bomb igniting Black March again, and Yuri meeting Ha-Jinsung would be interesting. I also think her meeting him would be interesting. My personal thoughts I threw in, because I think both of those are really good at covering different parts of this whole speculation. Going further into that speculation, I think that Yuri probably won't die here, because she has the bet that's going on with Machete. We'll have to see that play out. And I do feel like Bomb suffering a great loss to push his character is important, though. So this is where I thought, what if Bomb goes to meet Karaka while he's fighting Yuri, then Jinsung gets involved to protect Bomb because he's his beloved student, and he dies by the hand of his other beloved student, or not so beloved student. Jinsung is one of the strongest characters in the series, and he's been probably the kindest to Bomb out of everybody in FUG, so Karaka's killing him would boost Karaka's hype and reputation, making him able to beat one of the 100 strongest people, and it would give Bomb more reason to fight to avenge Jinsung. Coolfu responded, I never thought about Jinsung being killed. It'd be interesting if he died. I wonder if the head of FUG would show up if Jinsung got killed. And Iron Felty's response was, Jinsung's in the 100 high rankers. For Karaka, who recently became a Slayer, I don't think he can kill him yet. Yuri's also protecting Bomb, and Jinsung might not be able to get there in time. And if Yuri came to the floor of death, it'd feel too safe unless they meet Garam. Sorry, I bumped into the microphone. Which might not even be hostile. It would be more interesting if Anak gets the Green April and Machete's trying to retrieve it knowing that Anak won't give it back, causing a new threat, and maybe that's how Kun will see Maria, and Maria will come to retrieve it. Both of you make great points again. I don't think Grace is going to show up yet, because even if Jinsung dies, just not yet. Also, I think Karaka's a quickly rising ranker, so I think him killing Jinsung would push him up as a real threat to Zahard. And I think if he killed Jinsung, it would not be... I said that totally wrong in the comment as well. What I was trying to say is that he wouldn't kill Jinsung totally fairly. Jinsung would be focused on protecting Bomb. But I said it backwards. I said that he would kill him fairly. No, I don't think it'd be totally fair. I think he would go to attack Bomb or something, and Jinsung would sacrifice himself to save Bomb. Something cliche like that. Also, I've always been kind of on the idea of Yuri traveling with Bomb's group in general, and you guys know from the time Yuri showed up, I was kind of on that idea, because it takes away some of the danger. It doesn't feel as dangerous when we have a ranker there to back them up, you know? But it does feel like the story has been set up for her to be with them for now. I will say that much. Chirico2 Alone said about my last One Piece anime review. Good review. Thank you so much. Big Will 1919 said, I'd love a tournament arc in Tower of God where the princesses wager the 13-month and try to collect them all. And I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, maybe not the best, but I think that'd be pretty cool, because tournament arcs are like my childhood with Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto's tuning exams, things like that. Getting some water again. This is a detailed one that I do want to discuss all of, because I really like it. Akemi Homura said, my thoughts on Taboo Tattoo. It's a disappointing show that you've probably seen many times. Episode 1, there's no purpose in them fighting. They can communicate. If she wanted the thing from him, she literally just had to ask. He has no attachment to it and would probably be happy to get rid of it. Episode 5, Blue Sea stated at the beginning that people can't win against sealed people. So why do they bring normal people with normal weapons? Like, why does she bring them with her? Just to get them killed? They achieve nothing and just waste their lives. Bluesy was supposed to get a harsh punishment if her superiors found out what she was doing, but they find out, and they don't care, so what was the point of her lying? Episode 8, the characters are so painfully unrealistic. Toko's a normal schoolgirl, completely fine in the middle of a battleground with corpses everywhere. Seigi's also a normal high schooler outside the dojo, outside the dojo, and he's not freaking out despite his incredible injuries. Their emotions make no sense. Throw in the enemy stand. And then he gets a plot device power-up. Seigi has no wounds, his shirt is fixed, and then has no bloodstains on it. And then Aryabhata spares Seigi and doesn't take his keys despite that being her goal, and her reason, because she has some story about revenge. Episode 9, BB wants to protect the king who's an evil person, but then he pretends to care about others. Episode 12, Seigi won, and it's an annoying cliche. The enemy was more interesting, more experienced, and had bigger reasons for succeeding. Seigi did absolutely nothing. His goal was revenge and to keep the world in a terrible state. Also note the purple girl playing the RPG referred to half the world not being enough, which is a reference to the first Dragon Quest. The end boss offers your character half the world if you join him. Also, couldn't agree more on every single point there. The show was a total mess. It started out with a really great premise, don't get me wrong, but the actual plot ruined it by being terrible. Again, it's likely not even the worst thing I could even imagine. It's not even like the worst sort of anime, but it was really, really bad, and pretty much everything about it was a mistake. Oh gosh, just going in, and that's why I wanted to read all that, because I completely agree with all of it. I think it's all very, very good things to add to what I already said about it in my review. Also, I totally agreed, and I said a lot that I thought the villains were way more interesting and likable than the main characters. Anime Watcher said, I thought Karaka was a wimp, but now that I'm seeing a mere glimpse of his power, I think he's going to be like the Frieza of Tower of God. Bomb's going to regret not being able to ask Kun why he seems to be down. If there were to be a Kun arc, my theory is that Kun and Bomb would split up after a bit, after having a big argument, only to reunite to take down the villain of the arc. I don't think the villain would be Masheni, because she's way too powerful, but maybe Maria would be a more suitable option. And yeah, I hadn't really put much emphasis and talked much about how Kun was struggling with knowing about Maria now. And I also didn't really discuss how, like, Kun, Hatsu, and Ship seem to be the only ones that know about Maria being teamed up with the enemy princesses in our group. So Bomb doesn't even know yet. I'll know it as Yuri/Z24 said, I don't like Karaka at all. Karaka is a pretty good bad guy. East1860 said about the last episode of One Piece, I compare the anime episodes to the manga each week just to see how certain things were adapted, and the confrontation also took place in the forest there. Since they adapt one chapter a week or less, which is pretty much the case since Thriller Bark, the next episode, well, yeah. And just talking about how each of the next episodes will be the next chapters. Best regards from Germany. Thank you so much. And then he friggin' signs the end of his comment. That's some style. That's some class right there. And I said, yeah, I didn't really recall them leaving the forest, and what I meant by it possibly affecting future stuff is I thought that the capture of Nami, Chopper, and Caesar was just because they were still in the fortress. I didn't look, and like you said afterward, I didn't know that they had gone out whatsoever. GBFU 2016 said, where'd you get the information about my top 15 rankers video series? So I said, and for those of you that don't know for Tower of God, the author, SIU, does a blog to go with the chapter each week, and I used the blog info for those videos that I made in the past, just information videos for Tower of God. But a few weeks ago, actually, SIU said that he changed his mind on some of the stuff that he said in some of the older blog posts, so that when it actually gets introduced in the series, it might be a bit different. So I would just take the information in those videos and in the blogs as sort of like rumors about the tower. I wouldn't say that they are strictly true at this point. Hold on, getting some more water. Almost out of it. Anime Watcher said, looking at these drawings SIU did, I can practically hear his wrist cracking. I hope he doesn't sacrifice his health for this series. We don't want another Tagashi on our hands. When you eventually start a new manga on the channel, will you be picking by a poll, your personal choice, or a randomizer? Each option's fine for me. I just like to know what's going to happen ahead of time. I have a list of everything that people have ever recommended. So, yeah, once we catch up with Boku no Hero Academia, I'm just going to pick another from the list. Either I'll pick it based on what I'm feeling like at the time. Like, I'll just say, okay, we just read a shonen action-adventure, let's read something else. So, yeah, I don't know. Or I could do a poll, like you said. I didn't know if I did a poll if that many people would even answer, you know what I'm saying? Since we are kind of a smaller channel. But I could totally do a poll and see if people will answer. I could bring it up in one of my HaQ&As whenever we catch up to Boku no Hero Academia. I'll just bring up everything on the list and say, which do you guys want to see next or whatever. Akemi Homura said this chapter was One Piece at its best. The emotion was so strong. Totally agree. The past 2 chapters have been some of my favorite of the series and definitely my favorite of the arc. And Akemi Homura went and commented talking about almost every series I've done, but I'm going to go through those because it is really good thoughts and it lets me discuss the series as a whole really quick. Akemi Homura said about 12 Beast, I forgot about this series. It's made by the same author as Monster Musume. The releases are extremely slow, which is one of the reasons it hasn't got much attention compared to the more popular one. In the grand scheme of things, it's a better series because it actually has a plot and goal. Monster Musume is more about the comedy and making use of the monster aspects, which isn't bad, but it can drag on until people get tired since there's no real end goal. And yeah, the 12 Beast releases are a bit slow. It's bi-monthly, but it is seriously great, and it's pretty sad and frustrating that the talent from Okayato is incredible. He is so good, but since he's producing 2 really good and pretty successful manga, we can't get either one of them super often because it's one guy pumping out both of them, and they're so good. And I've already started liking 12 Beast more than a lot of other action-adventure shonen. I like it more than Fairy Tail already. 12 Beast is good, would recommend. Akemi Homura said about 91 Days, it was an okay show. The part I enjoyed most was the final episode. I liked it a lot. It definitely isn't the best I've seen, but I think it was far better than most. I think it was definitely up there. Then for Boku no Hero Academia, Akemi Homura said, not a fan of this series. The everything always works and false drama among it being a shonen series make it unpleasant a lot of the time. The usual weak male character becomes the strongest. It isn't entertaining if you've seen it again and again and again. And yeah, I think for me, Boku no Hero Academia is really enjoyable as a regular shonen. And I really love it and really do think it does its own thing as a regular shonen. But at the end of the day, it is just a regular shonen. Like, that's the thing. Right now I don't feel like Boku no Hero Academia for me is like an 11 out of 10. But I do think it's really enjoyable. I really like it. But that keeping in mind that it is just a shonen. So then for Monster Musume, Akemi Homura said, I enjoyed this series. Sometimes it's really funny, and I love when the monster traits are used in relation to the species. You also get occasional moments when the male lead is really awesome, and you might even cry in a few chapters. I like it when he tones down the perversion a bit and tries to make you care. And in the end, little girls are scary. I agree so much because Monster Musume is one of my favorite series, and I'm usually not into comedies as much, and I'm really usually not into harem series, but it just does so well as a deconstruction of the ecchi harem genre. The comedy for Monster Musume is great almost all of the time, and for me the fan service isn't overdone, and there are a lot of series that take themselves seriously that overdo fan service. Monmusu doesn't take itself super seriously, and it doesn't overdo fan service. Really good. And like you said, there are a few chapters that have amazing plot elements. Like, I personally think that the chapter with Lala and the little girl in the hospital is one of the strongest manga chapters that I have ever read, especially when it comes to having both strong comedy and a strong plot. And even though Kurus, the main character, started out as being like the typical joke on the faceless, bland harem protagonist, he's developed into being a really strong character through his development. So overall, like, for Monmusu, I feel like the biggest strength of the series is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's really honest. It's like, this is a comedy. This is a deconstruction of ecchi harem. Like, it's really honest with what it gives you, and that makes it so that the bad things are even made fun of by the series itself and spun into the good things to make it even better. I think it's just a really, really good writing style that Okayado has going on. And again, it fits with how good the writing is for 12 Beasts, because 12 Beasts I have praised the writing for. I think it's really good. Then about Tower of God, Akame Homer said, it has a good amount of content and no anime. I wonder why that is. I don't know anything about the series. And I said, I would 100%, for all of you watching who haven't read Tower of God, 110% recommend reading it. It's in full color every single week on webtoons.com. That's the official line translation. And for me, it's like tied as One Piece for like my favorite manga or comic ever. And I think one reason for it not having an anime is that the author's Korean instead of Japanese. But SIU has said that he's holding out on accepting any anime deals until he feels like it's the right time and the right deal. So there is hope for it in the future. They also said Garchu Garchu about the latest One Piece episode, and yes, Mink Girls, Garchu Garchu. And very last comment for this week, they said about Fukigenda Mononoke, I didn't enjoy this series. The most disappointing moments for me were them not explaining what the awakening of his power sort of was, and why it stopped and it was never seen or mentioned again, and how childish he was acting after he lost his powers, like his life was over. And I honestly thought Fukigenda Mononoke was a really solid series. Not like amazing kind of solid. I gave it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 overall, because it was really good and enjoyable if you need something to watch, but it's also something that's not really for everyone, and it's not like completely amazing. There are certainly many flaws. So I think overall it was really good if that's what you're looking for, but it wasn't like amazing or super duper crazy good or anything like that. And I think that's it for this week. I had to push through this one, my man. I'm just checking. Yeah, that appears to be all. So dang, we actually got through that in a decent time, better than I thought we would. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The discussion of all these different series, there was so friggin' much. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you did like this video. Comment down there. Tell me what you guys thought of all my thoughts here. If you guys have anything to add anywhere here, any suggestions for the 500 sub special whenever we get to it. 250 sub special will be up whenever I can finish it. Probably next week sometime. So yeah, subscribe for more stuff. Share around. Get more people to subscribe. I don't even know. Follow on Twitter if you want, and I'll try to keep you updated there on stuff for the channel. And that's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.